What's up, guys? How's it going? Today, we're continuing on about talking about the new patch for Granblue. So, we have two tier lists today I'm making. Obviously, it's been 2 days, so the patch is still fresh, but the meta hasn't changed too much, so I feel confident making a tier list and knowing what's going on. So, let's get started. So, this first tier list is going to be real world experience. This is offline in a distant future when we get to play games offline. This is what I think the meta is going to be for the tier list, or this is going to be the meta tier list for the real world. So, start from the bottom up. Bottom characters. Who are the losers of the patch so far? Easy picks, pretty easy picks for me. BLs and your boy Loane. This is abandoned ship tier list. I do not see these characters changing, honestly. Especially from Loane, they didn't give him anything besides some bug fixes. So I think it's pretty safe to say that these characters are not gonna change too much. It's the bottom of the barrel. Not very good characters overall. All right, next up we have B tier. We have a couple B tiers. Voss. Voss lost a little bit, but he also gained some stuff. But yeah, he did receive a nerf from his close light. I forgot what the nerf exactly was, but it does change some of his combos, some of his frame traps. So he got slightly nerfed, but he doesn't really change that much overall on the tier list. One character I do think moves down a lot is Ladiva. I'm surprised they nerfed. I'm like sort of surprised and not really surprised about Ladiva. Japan really likes her, but America has not really caught on. I don't think to Ladiva being as powerful as she is. But yeah, she definitely got some nerfs, some damage nerfs, universal stuff to close lights that she can't use it for meaties and also baiting out DPs. So it definitely messes up her offense a little bit. But I think she's still pretty solid. I think the only real bad characters are these two. The rest of the cast, I think, is overall pretty decent. But yeah, these two kind of lost out on this patch, I think, quite a bit. Um, Another character I think is a little better than them, but definitely lost out a little bit was Matera. Matera has a new glitch now, which I'm not going to really mention because it's a glitch, so it might get removed. But her close light or her 5L, right? Huge hurt box, huge hurt box. You can whip punish it now. She did get some new tools though. She is able to use the high arrow and low arrow together, uh, and vice versa. So she does have some new tools, but overall, I don't think she really moves that much. I think she was B tier already, but some slight nerfs to her and her 5M. Right, 5M is not plus anymore. Another universal change that definitely messes her up a little bit. But yeah, not a big winner this patch. Another one, not a big winner. Soris, our boy Soris. He didn't really gain that much either. He gained some damage to his punch, but they didn't really give him too much else besides some bug fixes since he's still kind of new. I guess they didn't want to adjust him too much since he's very new. So yeah, overall didn't gain too much. Pretty much the same overall. Nothing too crazy with him. Another character I think gets a little better. Now we're looking to A tier. I think Naramaya. Naramaya gets a little better overall. They gave her a bunch of stuff, less recovery, less hurt box on some of her moves. I don't remember exactly. She has a lot of changes to her, but she definitely got some stuff. I think overall she was pretty solid. I think she remains pretty solid. Maybe go up in time. But right now, I'd probably say A tier is most likely. Another character, I think, also A tier. Oops. Vegeta. Vegeta got one nerf. She only got one change to her, which is universal nerf to close lights. Besides that, she didn't really get anything else because she is also very new next to Sori's. So yeah, they didn't really change her too much, but she did get one universal nerf. But overall, I think she's still very good. Nothing really changed with her that much, honestly. Next one is Zoe. I know she's very new, but I do think she's quite solid already. She might move up, but I think it's safe to say she's most likely A tier. I don't think she's B tier. She has some pretty good tools, but her setup game requires a lot of brain power, so she's not very easy. Even though she's not as technical as someone like Naramaya, I believe that she's not as technical. Um, yeah, she's definitely not the easiest character in the books, but she has some pretty solid tools. So I think she's gonna main around A tier. I think. All right, next up, there's some big boys, some big winners. perk kind of sliding up there to top tier. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit because I don't want to take too long because these tiers kind of in conjunction from the last patch we got. So Percival, Zeta, both got a lot of buffs to the normals. Better 2Hs for both of them. Less recovery for Zeta overall. She got buffed again as well. Her super does more damage now instead of the minimum damage she used to get. So yeah, she got a lot better. Both his characters got a lot better, so I think they're teetering into top tier territory, but not quite the best. Now, these 5 characters. Like I said before, in the beginning of the video, the meta hasn't really shaken up too much, but some characters move up and down. So first off, Lance. I think Lance moves down a little bit. He's still pretty good. Obviously, a top tier character, but he probably got hit the most out of the top tiers, I think. That 668 nerf is pretty big, much slower. Fireball, much slower. Universal Fireball nerf, obviously, big one. Close M, not plus anymore. You know, he lost a lot of stuff, but he's still very good. Jump U, yeah, he took a big hit in the patch, but I think he's still really good. I think worst case scenario he ends up here, but for now I think I'm gonna leave him kind of right here, maybe like in the middle. I think possibly in the middle. I think overall he's still very good, but yeah, he took the big hit in terms of top tiers, but he was the most popular character in the game, so I think justifiable that he got his nerfs. All right, next up, Charlotta. Charlotta moves up a little bit. She had like some slight nerfs to her DP and her auto combo, which is a universal nerf, so it's a little bit slower. But overall, she's still very good. She now becomes the top tier gorilla in the game since Lance kind of got gutted a little bit. Yeah, not too much to talk about. She didn't really change too much. She got some slight damage nerfs too, but she got a couple buffs, I think. I believe one of her moves has higher crush value. I don't remember exactly what she got, but in terms of the other characters around her, she definitely got boosted a little bit because her nerfs weren't too big. Same thing goes with Fairy. Fairy remains very good. They nerf some of her stuff, but not in the ways you would think. Like 2U, the clash value is less, but it still has the same speed. But what they did change was their DP. Her DP is a little bit slower, makes it much weaker than before. So she's still very good, but she did get some nerfs. So she doesn't just bump up to triple S tier automatically, right? She definitely has some weaknesses or new weaknesses that she has, but still very, very good. Now these 2 characters. Oof, it's tough. It's tough. I think it's something like this, honestly. I think the gap between the characters get quite much closer. But I'm gonna say Gran and Cat are probably just as good as they were before. Gran's kind of interesting. So he got like a buff technically because there's auto combo. He can now cancel a second hit of auto combo, which gives him some more damage. But universal changes. 5M, obviously not plus anymore. His 5L got nerfed. His far 5L. So it's 6 frames now, which doesn't really change too much, honestly. But it being a 5 frame button was very, very good, of course. So it's only 5 framer is close L. But I just made a video about Gran, right? So I don't have to go over everything, but yeah. 2M still really good. 2U still really good. Still got a lot of damage. And kind of same thing goes for Cat, right? Cat has a lot of good stuff still. Good damage. She lost on 5M, but you know, very good buttons, very good damage, very good neutral. 5H got slightly weaker for Cat, but overall, I think both these characters seem very, very good still. But the gap definitely closes a lot. I think characters get really tight in terms of meta. So we're gonna have to wait and see. Obviously, it's only like day 2, day 3 for the patch, but I think offline, I feel pretty safe in saying offline these are probably the characters to look out for. Probably these 1, 2, 6 right here, right? 6 characters. I can see these being played a lot and being very, very good. And then I think the biggest loser, of course, is probably, besides these 2, it's probably Lance, taking a really huge blunt of the damage for net play. And for offline, of course, too. But let's talk about some net play, right? We gotta do videos only half done. So I'm gonna kind of speed through this one because it's not too much. It's not too important. Low tier. Actually, no. We gotta. I have to think about this. The netplay tier list. I think low tier. Honestly, I think Lowain's still low tier. Wi-Fi Lowain's very powerful, but he didn't really gain that much. So honestly, I don't. Oop, I gotta sneeze. Hold on. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. But yeah, Lowain, Wi-Fi Lowain's very powerful with Yggdrasil, but honestly, he's still very bad. I think Beelzebub, still not great, but netplay Beelzebub is very good. So he definitely doesn't remain to be the worst character. Voss, I think Voss and him swap, honestly. Voss is really not good netplay. You have to use a gigantic brain to play him. And since now he has some slight nerfs to him, I think it makes it worse. So overall, not a very good character for netplay. Zoe, I think Zoe is going to be difficult on netplay because of how specific she has to be in her option set. And I feel like she can get run over by a lot of the gorilla characters, especially online, when your reactions are much slower. So I think she's going to be slightly weaker on net play. All right, next up, Narmaya, kind of the same boat. She definitely got a little better, but net play obviously the technical characters are going to be much harder because you have to be obviously on point. You have to deal with not only them being quite big brain, you also have to deal with net play and delay. Next up, Sora's. Sora's like kind of in between them. Even though he is pretty bad, he definitely gets a boost on net play because his simplicity, and obviously him just punching you over and over again is a very good strategy for net play. So yeah, I think he moves up a little bit for the net play tier list. All right, next up we got Vegeta. Vegeta, very solid character online. Nothing too crazy. Pretty standard. Solid buttons. Her neutral's much better than, or slightly better than Gran. I almost forgot Gran actually. I put Gran a little bit Saurus. Even though Gran has a lot of damage and he has some good tools, the fact that like it's much harder to whip punish online and to hit his big boy combos sometimes, especially in delay, like 4 or 5 frame delay, it's kind of hard to hit the big boy combos. So he's much weaker online for sure. And he has weaker neutral than Vegeta, so I think Vegeta's probably better for net play, honestly. Yeah, Gran's not great on net play. Next character. This is a tough pick now. Now we get to the real net play, the juicy net play characters, I think. But probably have to go with Fairy. You know, actually, with the nerfs now, I think Fairy ends up being kind of in line with the technical characters, especially with her new nerfs. She probably ends up here. I think she's kind of in line with the other two technical characters in terms of you have to be on top of your reactions. It'll also be big brain. Even though Fairy is not the hardest character, I do think she becomes more technical online, so it's much harder to win with her on net play. So I think she definitely falls in line with the other characters here. All right, now we get to the nitty gritty. I think next up I have to probably put. I think I have to move something like this, right? I think Ladiva. The Vegeta's climbing up the ladder right now, but yeah, Ladiva, you know, some grappler struggle, and now the fact that she can't use the 5L to beat DPs, you have to have a much stronger guessing game than before. But overall, I think she's pretty solid. Her damage she loses out some damage, like I mentioned before. But I think she's pretty decent for net play still, overall. All right, next up we have. This is tough. I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with Matera here in lines with Vegeta. Matera, pretty solid net play character overall. You definitely get some mix going, but the 5-0 nerf is pretty big. But overall, I think she remains pretty much the same for net play. Pretty solid overall character. She has some new tools to work with. So yeah, not too much to talk about with her. I think she remains pretty similar to how she was for net play at least. All right, so we have our big boy 5. I think next up I have to go with Percival and Catalina. Actually, I don't know. Oof, this is tough. This is a tough four. I'm kind of doing this on the spot right here. I don't really have a script. I think I'm gonna have to go with. I think I'm gonna keep Catalina here. I think she's still pretty good net play character overall. You know, one of the best neutral, both these characters, right? Some of the best neutral in the game, especially Percival now, right? Percival's neutral is way better with the update, with the last patch, right? His 2H really good now, some slightly better buttons. So I don't know, I think I put them in the same tier in terms of net play. You know, probably the best neutral characters you can play in the game, I think, right now, especially on delay. Both can dish out some heavy damage too. So I think, and he has the added benefit of Percival having command dash, right? Net play command dash very spooky. So I think I'm gonna put these two together. Now, Lance, actually, you know what? I'm gonna put Lance. I'm gonna group them up together. I think Lance moved down a little bit. Lance used to be up here. Lance used to be legit net play broken, but now with the nerfs, I think he falls off a little bit on net play, just a little bit. He's still very good though. But like I mentioned before, right? 6SH, jump U a little bit weaker. 5M's not plus anymore. He definitely shakes up the most in terms of this patch for offline and online. But the two queens of net play, very, very easy picks. Charlotta Zeta. Charlotta, big gorilla time. And Zeta, a 50-50 that only works online. And she got the added buffs to her neutral. These two are definitely easily the best for net play. They're already very popular before with Lance, but since Lance got moved down, I think these two kind of take the cake in terms of net play. But yeah, that's it for me in terms of my net play tier list and my offline tier list. Show it one more time. Offline, net play, Corona tier list. But yeah, that's it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.